Hi, sisters. This is Dr. Shana Lewis, and I bring you greetings from South Union Church of Christ in Houston, Texas, where Randall F. Tucker Sr. is my minister. I am a licensed professional counselor and owner of Living Well Professional Counseling Services, and I am so excited to be able to spend the next few moments with you. You see, I love nothing more than being with my sisters. I just believe if mama ain't right, honey, ain't nobody right. So I make it my business to make sure that we are okay. And July is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, and it is so imperative that we take a look at our emotional well being. Now, a little fact that you may not be aware of is that Black women are at the greatest risk for depressive symptoms. So I want to make sure, in the midst of this world that we live in, that we are okay. Now, one of the things that I know in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, the quarantine, the racial conflicts, and all of the things that we've all been pressed up against the last several months, it has been a heavy weight. And many of us may have been experiencing things and not knowing what to do about it. Well, ladies, tonight I want to have a brief conversation with you about what you might be experiencing and what you can actually do about it. So I want you to think about something. I'm going to give you a few symptoms and I want you to think if you have experienced any of these things. Have you had an experience of sleeping excessively, where you just want to sleep all the time, or where you have difficulty sleeping at all, where you have a hard time starting, initiating sleep, or remaining sleep? Or maybe you wake up and you don't feel rested in the morning. Maybe you eat too much, or you don't eat at all because you don't have an appetite. Maybe you have a hard time making decisions. Or maybe perhaps you are worried excessively all the time. Maybe you struggle with not enjoying things anymore. Maybe perhaps you're irritable or snappy at people in your world, and that seems somehow different for you. Ladies, if you've experienced any of these symptoms, it would not be shocking to me. And you can add to that, have you just felt sad or overwhelmed? I know so many of us have felt some of these things that I've just described, and it's not for nothing. We have been in a duress state for the last several months, ladies. In fact, all that we've experienced has really been traumatizing on so many ways. And what I want to do right now is just trying to give you some tips and tools of things you can think about or do that can help you manage your emotional well-being in the midst of all the things that we're going through. So what I've been doing for the last couple of months is helping folks with an acronym that I call CALM, CALM, as I'm working to help us be calm in the midst of all that's happening around us right now. So the C stands for control the controllables. Now, I know it's a whole lot about what's going on right now that we have zero control over. We don't get to control who gets the coronavirus. We don't get to control what happens when we get the coronavirus. We don't get to control if we lose jobs, when we go back to work, when we go back to worshiping together. We don't get to control any of those things outside of us. But ladies, we do get to control ourselves. We get to control what we do, where we go, decisions that we make. One of the greatest controls we do have is how we structure or organize our day. I encourage all of us to create some structural organization for your days. Even if you have nowhere to go, set some expectations for your day. You have that kinds of control that can absolutely change how you feel. When we focus on what we don't control, we actually feel more overwhelmed and stressed. So focusing on what you can control is so much more valuable for you. Now, the A in this is asking for what you need. Now, I know my sisters, y'all run around with this cape on, y'all taking care of everybody else. You're doing what they need to get done. You're making sure they have what they need, and you have somehow forgotten all about you in the midst of it. Tonight, ladies, it's time out for that. It's time for you to ask for what you need. When you are feeling overwhelmed, you might just need a break. What I need you to do is raise your hand and say, I need a break. I need a timeout. I need to take a drive. I need a quiet hour in my room by myself with nobody asking me questions. Honey, I need you to go cook dinner for me. Kids, I need y'all to clean up all of these things so I don't have to worry about it. Ask for what you need. When we do not ask for what we need, guess what? We are less likely to get our needs met. Because when we think that I'll just not ask and maybe somebody's going to see what I need. No, we need to ask, ladies. I'm encouraging us to ask. There is no shame in asking for what you need. Now, the L, which is my favorite one, is look for opportunities to self-soothe. This is the one that's all about self-care and all about self-love. Now, I know the capes are on, but I told y'all a minute ago to put them down. So take the capes off. Give yourself permission to take care of you for the next few moments. Taking care of us is imperative in this process. You see, we are really no good to anybody else when we are emotionally overwhelmed ourselves. Put your mask on first, ladies, before you can assist others. So one of the most simplest ways to self-soothe yourself is breathing. Now, I know you're thinking, I know how to breathe, Dr. Shana. What I'm asking you to do is deep breathe. Many of us breathe to live. We don't breathe to relax. So I want to show you a quick technique real quickly on a deep breathing style. So I want you to put your hand on your stomach and I want you to inhale. When you inhale, I want you to fill your stomach up with air. You should feel your stomach move when you inhale. So do that. Hold it. And now exhale through your mouth. There you go. Do it again. And here's another one. Inhale, exhale hard. Just let it all hang out. Listen, deep breathing in that way is so imperative. I'll tell you why. When we breathe deeply and inhale and fill our stomach up with air, what happens is we allow oxygen into our system. And when oxygen gets into our system, it can then sit on the angst, the anxiety, the stress that you feel. And you cannot have both of them at the same time. You can't be stressed and calm at the very same time. So you must enter something into your system to change the way it's headed. Okay, so take 10 deep breaths at any point you feel overwhelmed or stressed and see if it does not help you calm yourself down. Other self-love activities, other things to self-soothe. Meditation is a great one. Many of us can meditate on God's word. We can use prayer as a meditation tool. You can even download an app called CaLM, C-A-L-M, or there's another one called a Virtual Hope Box, which also is free, that has different meditation techniques on it that you could possibly use. I also want you to think about in this self-soothing category is puzzles. Puzzles are a great way to calm ourselves, or even coloring, ladies. Getting an adult coloring book is an amazing way to just calm yourself down. You may be thinking that's for kids. It is, but the innocence of it is so amazing that it can absolutely calm our systems down. We also want to get in a space that we are taking care of our bodies by eating better. Now, I'm about to get messy because I know the quarantine, they said the quarantine 15, because we've been eating out everything in the pantry since we've been at home. I need us to take a minute to back away from the pantry and consider eating healthier on purpose. Because what you want to understand is that what you eat does impact how you feel. So if we're eating foods that aren't good for us, high in sugar and fat and all of these things that aren't good for us, then we're going to have moods that are going to be more depressed than if we're eating foods that are actually healthy for us. So just try to make healthier choices in your food options, ladies. The other thing I want us to consider in this self-care space is movement. We need to exercise. Do what's healthy for you, but movement is very important. Aerobic activity is excellent. It actually creates endorphins in our brain, and when they get released, it creates a euphoric feeling where we feel lighter. So it's very important that we get moving. Now, there's a school of thought that if we move 30 minutes, 5 days a week for a total of 150 minutes in an aerobic way, that is a healthy amount of movement at minimum that we need to be doing right now. So I'm encouraging each of you to consider how you can get moving, whether that's around your neighborhood walking, doing a YouTube video for exercise, doing some things on your own without, guidance of someone else, but just making sure that you are moving an adequate amount right now is going to help you to actually feel better. So right now, ladies, I need you just to really consider the importance of taking care of you with this kind of self-care. Okay. And the M is actually minimize unnecessary media. Now, the media the last 4 or 5 months has been vicious. It has been overwhelming. And some of us may be sitting on it too much. You are screening. You are watching screens of news on your phone. You are streaming it on your TV. You are inundated with all of the stress that's happening. And in fact, it's really traumatic, ladies. So it's something that we need to be mindful of, that we're not over indulging in. So I know we need to be informed, but sometimes we're watching too much. So when you feel your moods going kind of, I'm irritable, I'm, feeling more sad, I'm more worried or anxious, check how much news you're watching. The more you're exposing yourself to, you may be creating more symptoms for yourself as well and how you feel. Okay. So just be careful and mindful of your news. And what I want you to consider is that we have an opportunity to be calm in the midst of this storm. After all, a tornado may be a brewing all around us and raging, and the winds may be just all over the place. But in the midst of that tornado is where the peace and the calm actually exists. You have an opportunity to create that for yourself by doing a really good job of caring for you, in addition to obviously staying connected to the Father. We have to stay rooted and grounded in the one who is the giver of life, the one who we know has all of the answers, and we understand that he holds all the power in his hand. So, ladies, I am hopeful that something was said in this talk that helped you identify maybe something that you might be struggling with. I want you to know that if you are having a difficult time, there is no shame in asking for help. You may need professional help. If you do, that is perfectly okay. I'm happy to help you reach out to a counselor in your area without a problem. Just reach out to me and I'm here to support you in that way. One of the other things that I'm also doing for the month of July and August, I'm actually offering free workshops with full coping mechanisms to help you manage yourself during this time. Below this video, you're going to find a link for that. And you are happy, feel free to register for any of them because there's multiple opportunities and times for you to join. But I'd love to see you there to teach you some other coping mechanisms to help you manage during this difficult time. If you need to reach out to me, you can reach me at drshanadlewis.com, and I will be thrilled to assist you in any way that I can. I just want us to make sure that we are clear that it is imperative that, ladies, we take care of ourselves. It is time out for putting ourselves on a back burner. It is time out for acting as if we don't need some help sometimes. Make today the last day that you ignore yourself, your symptoms, and how you feel, and instead you take a minute to take care of you. I'm asking you to tell yourself that today I decide that I will take care of me, no guilt and no apology. If you are willing to take that pledge, raise your hand, write it down below. Today I decide to take care of me, no guilt and no apology. Do that, ladies. Take care of yourself. There is no guilt. There is no apology. It's actually your job to do in the first place. God bless you. God bless you. And I pray that you are well emotionally from the inside out. I hope to see you soon.